Good morning. I'm Carl Jansen, and welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek.
And I'm Carolyn Jansen. Welcome to our service.
Kristen and Brendy are not with us here this week. They're taking a little time off. And this is our 5th week back in the sanctuary, and our first time we've been here since early March.
And I'm really glad to be out of the house.
Yeah.
It's just so nice to be in our spiritual home.
Sure is.
And a pleasure to be with all of you this morning. And in our house today we have John Nichols. He's on sound and switch, and of course Shari Dyer is behind the camera, and our production manager Annie Love.
We are thrilled to have Melissa and Z with us today as our guest musicians and speakers. Reverend Z. Igloff is a cartoonist, spoken word artist, and award-winning author of the spiritual humor blog Life in ZD, a goofball's guide to enlightenment. Their wife, Reverend Melissa Felipe, is a singer, songwriter, teacher with 9 albums of original music in release.
Both Melissa and Z hold masters in consciousness studies. Z also holds a master in spiritual psychology, and Melissa an honorary doctoral for her contributions to the field of New Thought music. Melissa and Z are the founders of Oh My God Life, online and a traveling ministry. Their mission is to bring radical joy to this world. We are pleased to welcome them to our service. You are invited to join in with Melissa and Z and sing along with the first song, Woke Up This Morning.
Good morning, Unity of Walnut Creek. Yay, sing with us. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I woke up this morning with my mind. Let us hear you now. Stayed on spirit. Yeah, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit.
I can hear 'em.
Yeah, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Thank you, Melissa and Z. Now let's ground in unity. Unity is a positive path for spiritual living. Our vision is we envision a spiritually awakened world where all life thrives in conscious oneness. And our mission is who we have come here to be. So let's say this together. We are a loving, inclusive community, expanding and living our divinity in sacred service for all. Our core values are love, connection, service, and wisdom.
If you are with us for the first time, welcome. You are invited to fill out a connection card. Connection cards are found on the watch page. You may submit a prayer request, and our prayer team will pray with you throughout the week. You may also share feedback or request information. Now we go to the home of Zoe Snordham Phelps, having just returned from spending several months working in Costa Rica and Panama. Welcome home, Zoe.
Welcome home, Zoe.
Thank you, Carolyn and Carl. It's good to be home. Hello, everyone.
Our classes and events are currently held online or by phone on Zoom. We have several events to highlight this week. Unity has a new mastermind group that will help you discover your heart's desires, realize what you love to do with your time, and create a plan for its attainment. Engage with your loving Unity family, who will gently encourage you to reach your goals, and support you through brainstorming and prayer. This weekly ongoing group will meet on Zoom starting Monday, July 6th from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. All proceeds go to Unity. If you're feeling excitement and anxiety about social change that is happening around us, and you would like to better understand yourself and the others around the issue of race, we are starting a study group on Thursday, July 9th at 7 p.m. on the wildly popular book, White Fragility: Why It's So Hard for White People to Talk About Racism. Our group will create a loving space to witness each other while we process and learn about racism together. You will need to pre-register for this group through our website. Contact information for our bookstore managers to pre-order books is on our website too. We are very excited to announce that celebrated author and spiritual teacher Mirabai Starr will lead the workshop Wild Mercy, The Wisdom of the Feminine, on Sunday, July 19th, just for us. This online workshop is based on Mirabai's latest book on women mystics across spiritual traditions. Mirabai has created this video invitation. Let's watch.
Hi, I'm Mirabai Starr, and I'd like to invite you to join me in reclaiming the wisdom of the women mystics across the spiritual landscape. In Taoism, in Hinduism, in Buddhism, in Judaism, Christianity, Sufism, and all the wisdom ways of the world where the wisdom of the feminine has been intentionally buried and silenced. So in this gathering, we will be exploring the poetry of the women mystics, the essential teachings of loving kindness and fierce truth-telling that are so urgently needed in our world today. So thank you to my friends at Unity of Walnut Creek, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon.
Please see our website for a full listing and login information for all our events.
Thank you, Zoe. It's so wonderful to have you back. If you're not receiving our weekly e-news, use the connection card link on the Watch Live page to sign up and stay informed. Following our service today, we invite you to join us on the patio for a virtual patio conversation via Zoom, 12:45. Our prayer chaplains are also available to pray with you in a private space during this time.
Now as we prepare for our time of meditation, let's ground with our statement of faith. Let's all take a deep breath together, settling into our hearts. And one more deep breath. And now please join me. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God.
Let us prepare for our time of meditation. Today we have an original poem by David Peterson entitled Dismantling Racism, followed by music with Melissa and Z, and a guided meditation with silence.
Dismantling racism. No name-calling, forming an unbreakable rainbow out of your blessed breath, beloved heart, becoming implicit, becoming conscious. You have found love breathing in, out, out, inside this silent universe, heeding all the calls, lathering yourself and others with a comforting honey, to cover you all, to cradle you in peace. Witness this here. Find your personal joy as you watch the people get ready, washed, cleaned, open, and free. Pieces now fitting in life's game. Each peg has found its hole. The narrow gate has finally opened to a new world.
As I say a tender yes to everything that comes to me, my heart is open, I am free. I open to all that is. It brings me to my knees. I surrender. I am peace. As I say a tender yes to everything that comes to me, my heart is open, I am free. I open to all that is. It brings me to my knees. I surrender. I am peace. I surrender.
From that place of yes, a tender yes, I surrender. I surrender to the one life that lives inside me. One power, one love, one yes. Right now, I surrender to the living yes inside me, and I radiate this yes to the world. Yes to love. Yes to health. Yes to peaceful power and powerful peace. This is the truth of me. I need do nothing but simply be. Simply breathe. And in my breath, in my being, lives this peace. A radiant, vibrant peace that knows no bounds. I relax into this peace now. With each breath, I have a deeper and deeper awareness of the truth of me. I surrender to this truth as I rest in the silence.
This song has a spoken word chorus, and we would love for you to join us. The lyrics are pretty simple. First line is, I feel your peace and your presence and your power, my God. Say it with me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power, my God. And the second line is, I feel your peace and your presence in me. Together. I feel your peace and your presence in me. I also like to always say with the song that when I heard the word God when I was a kid, I had a very specific connection with that word, and it meant a white male senior citizen in the sky who occasionally went off his meds. not the most warm and friendly kind of guy that I was supposed to be having a connection with, right? And so when I say God for this song, I mean the highest, the most loving, the wisest, the most incredible energy that I can even imagine, and then even so much more than that. My God, my God. That's what we're talking about here. It started out small, something less than a touch. I didn't even know it was you. God was unreliable, a crazy man, righteous, someone I should love and fear. What kind of sense is that? It started out small, something less than a touch. I didn't even know it was you. When I stumbled upon your power, I lost what I was taught. The crazy and the righteous enfolded in a love so vast it stretched the very definition of the word love. Together, I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me.
I surrender. I surrender to your love. I surrender.
Outside of me, and yet you are. It makes no sense, but then it does. For you are here wherever here may be. I speak to you. You speak to me. The voice is mine and not mine. Landing in the space between where you and I vanish and begin stretching the very definition of the word me. Power, my God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power, my God, I feel your peace and your presence in me.
I surrender.
And your presence and your power, my God, I feel your peace presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me.
I surrender.
I feel your peace and your presence and your power. I feel your peace and your presence and your power, except when I don't. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. When there's a lot going on, externally or even internally, it can be hard to find that place. And right now, in the world, there's a lot. There's a lot of a lot. Not just a global pandemic, but all kinds of other things are up right now in terms of racism and conflict. Justice. All kinds of things. And then that's in the world, and then all of us are having our own reactions to that, and sometimes there's a lot of fear.
Yes.
Right? And so we have found that the rock that gets us through all of this, external and external conflict and fear, is our connection with Spirit. One name for this is the I-thou relationship, that relationship with Spirit. We just find that has changed our lives, and especially right now, it's key.
Yes.
So that's what we want to talk about today. The I-thou relationship, what it looks like, how we can cultivate it, and we want to share some stories about how that's been for us. What is the I-thou relationship? And Melissa is going to get us started. Melissa?
When I was growing up, we went to church every Sunday morning. I mean, every Sunday morning we went to church. And the church that we went to, there was one version of God that I heard about. It was that version of God that Z talked about before the song, that randomly angry old man that went off his meds. And it was that only version of the divine, of spirit, that I ever heard about, was this God that was outside of me, that I could have a relationship with, but it was going to be, not always a good thing. When I was in 6th grade, I got transferred to go to school at that church. So now then, I was not only there every Sunday morning, I was there Monday through Friday. And we went into the church Monday through Friday and had some church before school. It was actually a great school. But church Monday through Friday. And so, you think around 6th, 7th grade, right? So you think about the kind of the psyche of the brain of the child at that time. You start to question and explore what did they think about what they're hearing and such. And when I was doing that, I was getting very frustrated and upset in this experience because I was hearing about this God that was all loving, powerful, all loving, the presence. And I was hearing that my best friend, Donna Abrahams, was going to be going to hell, hell, was going to be going to hell because she did not have, Jesus in her heart because she was Jewish. So that really didn't work for me. It was really, really upsetting to me. It actually made me enraged. That was my reaction. I think back then, any emotion kind of got channeled through rage for me. But it really upset me. It was very confusing, and it really ticked me off. Now, I will really never know how much of what happened for me that year, my 7th grade year, I became a using drug addict. And I'll never really know now how much that reaction, that rage, that confusion played into that life for me. But what happened is it was so awful for me that I just turned away from spirit entirely. I just decided, I'm not having it. None of that spiritual stuff for me. And then July 31st, 30 years ago, just this last July, I got clean and sober. So 30 years ago. Yay! Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, praise God. Not long after that, like a lot of people, I think a lot of us who find our way to clean and sober, I found the New Thought philosophy. And there I started hearing about these other 2 versions of God. Thank God. I was hearing about God as everything, God as all that is. And because God is all that is, then it stands to reason that it is God that is right here, showing up as me. And there is only God everywhere, so there's God everywhere, and there's God wherever I am, right? So I still wasn't hearing about this God that was loving, that I could have a relationship. I was not hearing about you. I wasn't hearing about a God with whom I could relate, have relationship, have communication, have conversation, have intimacy. Wasn't hearing about that I, thou version, just the one that was all that is and in me. Well, that really worked for me for a long time. But I have since learned about the 3 faces of the divine, the 3 faces of God. It's referred to in both those ways. And there's all the ones I've mentioned already. There's God as all that is, all power, all presence, all energy, whatever, source, cause, like that. And there's God here, the I, thou, the I, not the I, thou, the I am, that is here in me. And then there's the I, thou, the you version. That's the 3 faces of the divine. All that is in me, 2, and 3, the you with whom I can converse and be in relationship in a different way, right? So with all 3, we're still when we're talking to the within, it's everywhere also. It's a lot to take in for the brain, but it's also when we have all 3 of those, it's a 3-dimensional relationship with the divine, which for a very long time I did not have. And then, a little more than 10 years ago now, I finally succumbed to the call. I had been really hearing a nudge for a long, long time by then to go to ministerial school and become a minister. And I kept kicking and screaming like a lot of us ministers did. And then when I was finally in school, and Z and I were in school at the same time, we had this one class. And in this class, we had a guided meditation during which we hung out with Spirit. And we had conversation with Spirit. And part of the experience was asking Spirit, what is the name that is the perfect name for me to call you? What is my name for you? My individual perfect name for you. And I heard this very clear answer in that experience for me that my name for Spirit is the All. That guided meditation, that experience really changed my life, not only because of the name that I got for Spirit that is, for me, really right and kind of sits with me perfectly, the All. It also was this beautifully touching, intimate, loving experience for me that was like a visceral thing. It was like I was hanging out with Spirit in a way I never had, and I felt the love of the divine in a way I never had. And it was this I thou, but it was this I thou, this relationship with the Spirit that was the you that I could have relationship with, that was the unconditionally loving version, not the version that I had as a child. That unconditionally loving power of the divine that is also all that is and here. So the next morning I was walking, and I do my prayer treatment when I was walking, and I started the prayer. Instead of saying, you know, there is only one power and that power is all that is, I said, good morning, thee all. There is only you. And when I had that you, I said you, and I hadn't said that in a prayer in a long time, there was like this opening of my heart and my chest. It was like this energy poured through my being in a way that I had not experienced prior to that. So I shifted my whole experience of prayer after that. And after a while of doing prayer that way, started to feel like saying the all every time I was talking to Spirit was a little cumbersome. And so one morning I was like, this feels kind of like a lot, and maybe I could come up with a shorter thing, like if I take the first letter of each of those words and I just call you Ta. So I thought, but that might be blasphemous, like I was given the name to call Spirit. So I asked Spirit, hey, you know, would it be okay if I call you Ta? And I heard this voice that was like, I do not care what you call me. So that was good. So then I started calling Spirit Ta. And it made me think of how we develop intimacy and have a nickname for someone after we get closer with them, right? And so that's one of the steps for me that has taken place in my cultivating this I-thou relationship. And what we're inviting you to do today is to consciously cultivate that relationship for yourself, that I-thou aspect of the infinite and you, right? So the first step in this, of course, is to set your intention. You have to say, I want a deeper walk. I want a deeper walk with Spirit before you're going to have it. That's, of course, it all starts in consciousness, right? And then you can ask Spirit, what is your name that you would have me call you? And you will hear an answer at some point. And then after a while, you might have a nickname. You think about beloveds ones in your life, right? Like Z and I call each other baby. If we call each other by name, we know we're in trouble, right? So I joke that around the house we're Reverend Baby, but really, baby is what we call each other. And when we have that deeper intimacy, we tend to come to a nickname. And Spirit doesn't care what we call it. And finally, the one thing that we recently added that's so fun is praying for, asking Spirit to deepen our walk, my walk with it. So I ask Spirit in prayer, in my prayer, Spirit, let me hear you, let me feel you, let me know you more fully. Because we pray for everything as spiritual beings, right? We pray for peace and health and money and relationships. And to pray for a deeper walk with Spirit covers everything. Every area of life is going to be better by that relationship being deepened, because we will know the voice that we are hearing is the guidance from the divine, and our intuition is better, and everything is better. Everything is better when that prayer is answered. So that's our advice for cultivating that relationship and deepening that I-thou relationship. To talk more about that relationship and tell a little story about it in our lives, I give you Reverend Baby.
I love the I-thou relationship. One of the things that I love about it is how paradoxical it is, because you're relating to Spirit, and yet, as Melissa said, we acknowledge that because of the three faces of God, Spirit is in me, Spirit is everywhere, but then also I can have a connection and a relationship with something that's also in me and everywhere. It doesn't always even make sense to the mind, but it's very rich and very deep. Another thing for me that has really deepened is my connection. I call them getting messages or downloads from Spirit. I love getting downloads from Spirit. Sometimes I get them in a metaphorical way, kind of biblical. When Melissa and I were just about to graduate from ministerial school, I got one particular download, one particular message, metaphorical message, that changed our ministry forever. And in order for that to make sense, I have to tell you a story about a cat. So, this was now a few decades ago, several decades ago, 2 decades ago, I was going through a particularly bad breakup. And I decided that what I needed to get through this breakup was I needed a cat. I needed a kitty cat. I needed a little pet. And every pet I'd ever had before that in my life had just come to me as cats will do, right? Just showed up at my place of work or in the back patio door, or someone said, hey, do you need a kitty cat? You know, like that. That was not happening. I was, come on, Spirit, give me an animal, give me a kitty cat. Come on, it was not happening. So I finally said, I'm going to take matters in my own hands. I'm going to go get a cat. All right. So I go to a local animal shelter, and they had this big room with all the cats in it, which is kind of amazing that the cats put up with that, but whatever. I go, and there's this big room, and I find the perfect kitty, this perfect sweet little kitty, and I say, that's the one I want. And the staff said, well, that one's taken. How about this one? She looks a lot like that one. So I go to cat number 2, and I pick her up, and I pet her for 30 seconds, and then she bites me. So I put her down, and I say, I'll take her. Like I said, I wanted a cat. I wanted my cat now, right? And I would say now that I took her home, but oh no, not that easy. This place had so many hoops to jump through. I had to give them 2 references, and they had to call both references and talk to them to be sure that I was the right kitty parent for this cat. And then they basically made me sign in blood that I would never return this cat to them. And not only that, I wouldn't even give the cat away to anyone else. Like, this cat and I were going to be bonded for life. It was an awful lot. I'd never had to do that before to get a pet, but I said, okay. So I do all the stuff, go through all the hoops. I bring the cat home. I name her Lucy. 1 week later, I get a call from a friend of mine, said, hey, I hear you were looking for a cat. I found a perfect cat for you. And it was like, oh, where were you a week ago? And I couldn't help it. I had to go see, because I'm hearing this cat's perfect. So I go to this local pet store, and there's this little orange male tabby kitty, like one of my favorite kinds of cats. Adorable little guy. Isn't overly biting me, super easy to adopt him. So I just said, I gotta do it. I'm gonna get him too. So I get this guy, bring him home, name him Max. Good, right? I don't know if you can hear this. We have a kitty who's listening to this whole thing. You're gonna hear more about him later. All right. So I name him Max, and there's only one problem. Lucy and Max do not get along. They hate each other, and I'm in a small place. It's really stressful, and the vet I was taking them to at the time said that tortoiseshells, Lucy was a tortoiseshell, said tortoiseshells sometimes, and I think in this case, make better only children. But I couldn't take her back because I had signed in blood. So the kitty I had to give away, and it broke my heart, was Max. I had to give him away. Oh, it was so hard. So now it's just Lucy and I. And, it was pretty good, but wouldn't you know, she had a tendency to bite. Who knew? All of a sudden, out of the blue, it was really unexpected. A lot of times animals you can tell. With her, you couldn't always tell. And it was really scary and kind of hard. So that was my cat. Fast forward, 13 years later, about to graduate from ministerial school, and I get this download from Spirit. And this download from Spirit says, all right, you and Melissa are about to start your ministry. You can approach your ministry one of 2 ways. You can approach your ministry like you did when you got Lucy. Go out, make it happen on your timing. And if you do, it'll be pretty good, just like your relationship with Lucy, but also it's gonna bite from time to time. Or you can approach your ministry like you did every other cat other than Lucy, including Max, of letting it happen on my timing, on Spirit's time, right? And in that case, it's going to go way better. Now, before I got this download, I had never put that together, that Lucy was the one cat that I'd gone and made it happen on my timeline, and that it had been the most difficult cat I'd ever had. I never put that together. Then, a few months after this download, Lucy died suddenly and unexpectedly. She was 13 years old, so, we expected she'd live longer. All of a sudden, we hear noises downstairs. She's having a seizure, like literally 3 minutes later, she's dead. We found out later she had a heart problem. There's nothing we could have done. It was very much like in Lucy's style to just go like suddenly, unexpectedly like that. So now here we are. We're starting our ministry, and we've been given very specific instructions about how to proceed. And we knew when Spirit said don't push, we knew what that meant, because it wasn't like just sit home and do nothing. We're creatives. We're going to be home. We're going to be creating music and books and art and all that, right? We're going to do that. That's not pushing. That's in the flow. But it meant as far as making things happen out in the world. And did we listen? Well, we got a little freaked out about how we were going to pull this thing off. Everything, including financially. So we made some calls. And by we, I mean Melissa. Because Melissa had connections from her past life as a New Thought singer-songwriter. So Melissa gets on the phone, makes some calls. Hey, it's me. Hi. Good to talk to you again. Yes. Hi. Well, I'm a minister now. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm doing ministry now. I'm doing ministry with my wife. I know, it surprised me too. I know. Yeah, who knew? My wife's name is Z. Yeah, just the letter Z. I know it's a little different. Yep. They are a minister too. Oh, they. No, there's just one Z. I just have just the one. Yeah. Z is gender rich. Whole lot of gender going on. Yeah. Z identifies as gender rich. So Z uses the pronoun they. Singular they. Yeah. I know, also a little different. Anyway. I just wanted to tell you about what we're doing. We're going around and we're doing talk and music at various centers. And musically, we're doing something kind of cool. I'm still singing, but Z joins me. And Z does spoken word. Hello? Hello? It didn't go well. Trying to tell people what we did, try to explain it, trying to push it, it didn't actually really work. So finally, about a year or two into being ministers, we said, hey, we're ministers. Maybe we should really fully listen to Spirit and really just all the way surrender this thing, even though we don't even understand how it's all going to come together. Like really, we don't. And lo and behold, we did that. And we noticed we started to get more calls, people just calling up, asking us to do various things, including things we thought we didn't. We thought, oh, we don't want to do workshops, got asked to do workshops. We don't want to do retreats, got asked to do retreats. And we found out we love doing workshops. We love doing retreats. And then we watched how everything fit together like this amazing, intricate puzzle, like the way what we were doing at home and putting out online was supporting the out in the world and vice versa. And people would come to us when we were doing things and say, my God, your whole marketing plan, your business plan, it's like really amazing the way it fits together. And we'd say, I know, right? Because like Spirit is so much smarter than we are. Like this is not coming from us, right? Also, because it was so scary, because we really didn't understand how we were going to do this and how it was all going to come together, we found that we really had to rely on Spirit in a deeper way. Really, like it built that relationship. So there we are. We're surrendering. It's working out day by day. One day Melissa's out shopping and she runs into a friend of ours who says, hey, do you need a cat? by any chance? She had this cat living under her house who needed a home. I was in Ohio visiting my folks. Melissa calls me and she sent me a picture. We had a picture of this cat and she said, so here's a cat. Do you want this cat? I looked at the picture. I said, I think that's our cat. And Melissa said, I know. I think that's our cat. And I got a download about it too when I saw the picture that the cat's name was Max. And I argued, because as we've established, I like to argue back with Spirit. I said, that cat cannot be named Max. I already had a cat named Max. I called Melissa the next day. She had the same download. She also got that the cat's name was Max. So Max came home to live with us. And wouldn't you know, he is the best, most amazing cat ever, like I've ever had. And I've had maybe 6 cats now. This guy is special. He really is. He's amazing. And when we were putting this talk together and I was thinking about it, I finally got for the first time why his name is Max. Because the first Max that I got was the more surrendered version, right? But I had to give him up. But it's never too late to surrender to Spirit. Say that with me. It's never too late to surrender to Spirit. So I got another Max. We got another Max. So we have a picture to show you. Here's our guy. Now, whenever we're feeling confused or lost or we can't do it and we don't know what's going to happen, we look at the eyes of this little guy. And he's our mascot. He's our ministry's mascot. It reminds us that everything's going to be okay. We are safe. And when we surrender to Spirit, it is not giving up. It is empowered surrender. Oh my God, everything gets so much better than we could ever imagine when we surrender. It's incredible. And it won't bite. So repeat after me. Spirit is so much smarter than I am.
Spirit is so much smarter than I am.
And it's never too late to surrender to Spirit.
And it's never too late to surrender to Spirit.
Thank you, Melissa and Z. Whether you have a joy or a concern in your heart today, our prayer chaplains are available to provide prayer support during our virtual patio conversation after the service. You may also contact them by phone and email. Please complete a connection card on the Watch Live page or click on Prayer Request at the bottom of the home page. Our prayer team will be praying with you throughout the week.
Now let's open our hearts to the practice of giving. Our spiritual home thrives with your continual generosity. I invite you to prepare your gifts as we align with the universal law of circulation. As we give, we shall receive. In truth, there is no lack or limitation. Abundance is our true nature. In addition to sending checks through regular mail or direct deposit through your bank, there are 2 ways to give online. You may click on the donate button on the Watch Live page or download the Give app. Give is spelled G-Y-V-E. I invite you to repeat the prosperity affirmation with me. Together, divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful.
We're going to start it off with a little call and response for those of you who want to do it. Are you ready for this? Yeah. We're gonna actually add some moves to it too, because this morning we need to fortify our faith. So we want to get it in the body. So this is how it goes. Clarify. Magnify. Now I'm going to say occupy and you say occupy your faith. So I say occupy your faith. And then we're going to glorify. Testify. Fortify your faith. That's it. You got it. You're
That's it. And when I sing with me.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'll get it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, okay.
Okay.
Let's take this baby for a ride. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. You feeling it? All right, you feeling stuff? Yeah. When I was a child, an itty bitty baby child, I didn't believe in nothing. Faith is for suckers, I told myself. People who are weak, people who need help. But all around me, everyone would say, you gotta believe, you gotta pray. Believing in nothing ain't no way. Here's what you gotta do every day. You gotta clarify, magnify, occupy your faith, and then you gotta glorify, testify, fortify your faith. Time went on, and I grew up. I started to question. I said, what's up with my life, the world, the universe, and how things work? Why am I here? What's my worth? I started to notice synchronicities and a power beyond what I could see. Next thing I knew, I heard Spirit say, here's what you gotta do every day. You gotta clarify, magnify, occupy your faith, and then you gotta glorify, testify, fortify your faith.
You can do it. I know you can make it stronger. Come on, pay attention.
Yeah.
There's no need to wait. Fortify your faith. Fortify your faith.
Oh yeah.
Fortify.
I see. I know. Now I see that faith is so much bigger than me. It starts in the heart and grows. Where it stops, God only knows. So if you're down, if you're blue, remember that Spirit is bigger than you. Let it hold you, take it, shape it. And here is all you have. You gotta clarify, magnify, occupy your faith, and then you gotta glorify, testify, fortify your faith. Oh yeah, you gotta clarify, magnify, occupy your faith, and then you gotta glorify, testify, fortify your faith.
Thanks again to Melissa and Z for sharing their beautiful music with us today. We'd like to support our guest artists. If you would like to hear more from Melissa and Z, log on to their website at ohmygodlife.com. Now, as we bless our offerings, we bless the giver and the gift, that it may go forth and multiply and increase the good in our lives and the lives of those we touch. Together, we give thanks for the ever-increasing, constant flow of absolute good in our lives now.
And now let us bless our frontline workers and activists. Frontline workers and activists, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you.
This last week would have been our first week of summer camp with all the children, and Carol and I miss it dearly because we were there last year and we were volunteered to be there again this year. So we reach out to our children and say hi to you. And our children have a meet each Sunday on Zoom. Today we have a special video, so let's watch.
Hi everyone, it's Michelle with Maddie and Millie.
The 3 M's.
And we're here to talk about what we did last Sunday at Sunday school. And we're still learning our 5 sacred elements series. So what are the 5 sacred elements, girls? Let's remind everyone.
Earth, air, fire, water, spirit.
That's right. And last week we learned about earth. And this week we're going to do spirit. So we wanted to share with you a little bit about what makes the earth a sacred element. And what are some things that make the earth sacred, girls?
The animals.
The animals. What's some of your favorite animals?
Sloths and unicorns.
Sloths and unicorns.
And pugs.
And pugs, yes.
Cheetahs and doves.
Ooh, cheetahs, doves, and I love bears, and we love chickens, and we love dogs.
And chicks.
And chicks, and cats. We love all the animals. And what are some other things that make the earth sacred?
Food, like our neighbor's corn.
Yep, gardens. Plants, trees, gardens. You can see our neighbor's monster corn that grows every day. So it grows and grows and grows.
So soon we can't see their house.
Yeah, it's taller than their house. And the girls and I wanted to share with you the blessing that we use with the kids. Usually when we meet in person, the kids have some fruit as a snack, and we like to do this blessing for the fruit. So we're going to share that with you today. We have some strawberries, and these weren't grown in our garden, but they were grown in a garden, right? And they come from the sacred earth. And so we're going to sing our blessing now. Ready? Let's warm up our hands. Here we go. Blessings on the blossoms, blessings on the root, blessings on the leaves and stems, blessings on the fruit. And now we're going to try an exercise in mindfulness. And I want you girls to just try to eat this strawberry as slowly and as mindfully as you can. So let's try it now. Ready? It's so sweet and so good. What do you think? Yeah. So we're going to invite all of you to bless some fruit this week and just try to eat it as slowly and intentionally as you can, giving gratitude for the sweetness of life and for the sacred Mother Earth. So that's all from us this week. We love you, Unity. We miss you. We bless you. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Please join me in saying our prayer of protection. As we do, let us hold all of humanity in mind. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine.
Stick around until the end of the service. We have community member selfies you won't want to miss. We want to see you too, so please send your silent waving videos or selfies to the office at unityofwalnutcreek.org. And now our peace song. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's been our pleasure to be with you.
To close, remember that you are the light, the love, and the peace on earth right now.
So let your light shine and
Have fun and spread joy.
God is so amazing, shining through you. God is so amazing, shining through you. One look in your eyes, and you know it's true. God is so amazing, shining through you. God is so amazing, shining through me. God is so amazing, shining through me.